All right, let's give this a shot. I just thought I'd shoot a video talking about how to be a great fundraiser, telephone fundraiser for a political cause. And from my experience, I spent 6, 7, 8 years, I don't even know how long it was, as a fundraiser, working for a couple different firms, and they were always progressive, equal rights, ACLU, calling for animal welfare, supporting the ASPCA or Humane Society or Greenpeace or organizations that help people and animals and help make a better planet. But so I've got experience in all those, and I excelled. I kicked ass at almost everything that I was passionate about. Where I didn't excel was when they put me on a campaign which was like for a museum. It wasn't fun for me because I didn't get the buzz of knowing that the work I'm doing and the words I'm saying, the conversation I'm having is going to change the world that I live in. I get the buzz from that, and so I would fight. And I was tenacious. They had to hang up on me because there's going to be resistance. Number one, most people don't want to talk to you, and so the ones that do have that conversation, you got to really dig in on and not be aggressive. I tell people flat out, feel free to hang up on me if you need to go, but I'm compelled to keep talking because these issues are important, and whether you can give today or not is cool, but we need your support when you're able to. There's different, I think in any fundraising call, finding the right pressure point, the right heat factor is crucial. We'd call for sometimes like UNICEF is one, but there's another, Doctors Without Borders, and they can be some gritty content that about refugees who are children 5 years old separated from their parents, and you can lay it on really thick. And we had one of our supervisors who would kind of coach on how to make an effective phone call and conversation. To me, he would lay it on so thick, have any listener, a compassionate person, on the verge of tears to get that money. And the mistake there is you can get that gift, but then they're not going to want to talk to a fundraiser again. I don't want to make someone feel bad. And you don't want to preach to the choir either. But here's my tip specifically for an effective political fundraising call. You have to turn over control of the phone call to the person you're talking to. In order to do that efficiently or effectively, you have to know what you're talking about. You've got to be engaged in politics and what's happening in the country and these issues, so that whatever their issue is, you can speak to that. My tip was, when I was calling for the DNC or President Obama or the Democratic DCCC, the Congressional Committee, DCCC, Democratic, whatever. I say, hey, this is who I am on behalf of the Democratic Party, and I always like first to thank you for your support because they've given before, and I would say this, and my supervisors didn't like it. I don't care. It's effective. This is about having a real conversation. This is an honest communication for me to get them to have a conversation, to say that whether you can give or not is fine, but I'm hoping to get a few minutes just to talk about what's happening and what we're doing to get things changed, to face these issues. Or, from time to time, you throw them a curveball. From time to time, we like to get feedback from our supporters and just say, what do you think are, say, the top 3 issues facing this country right now? And give them some time to think and let them respond. If maybe they don't know. They'll say, look, I don't know, there's so many. Well, okay. Well, here's what I think. I would say I think climate change is the number one issue that we as a country and planet have to face. We don't have 50 years. We have to address all of the things that we're doing, fossil fuels and so forth, pollution. Second, I would say escalating wealth inequality, right? We cannot continue this trend that's been happening since the 1980s of more and more wealth going controlled by fewer and fewer people. That's not a healthy trend. Wind the hands of time forward, and what do we have? If that trend continues, if we don't do something, you have a third world country. You've got lots of destitute people and a few wealthy people. That is a third world country, and that's what happens when people aren't awake. So that's undebatable. And it's just, I don't blame people for being greedy. Some people are greedy. That's how they see it. They don't recognize the problem. But in their own best interest, people need money to spend. What was my third thing? Oh, the corruption, the influence of special interest money in our political system. And you have a conversation. What you're trying to do is, again, find the heat point of, yeah, get that feedback. Yeah, that pisses me off. Yeah, that's an issue. And so now there's something happens on a psychological level. I think that as a real, honest, a person of integrity, having a real conversation with someone on the phone, and you can disagree on. Don't just, kiss ass and agree with them if you disagree. It's okay to disagree on these things, but that's what America's about. But how important are these issues for you? If the Democrats or Republicans, if we don't get control of the House, like for Obama, for his last 2 years, we've got Republicans have been cock blocking the guy basically throughout his 2 terms. At least after when they got control of Congress, he can't get anything done. If we can't give this man a Democratic House and Senate for his last 2 years, then we've squandered a great president, potentially. We've squandered. We have to fight. And you sell them hope and optimism, but you get them that fighting mentality. We have to fight these battles as they happen. We do that 2 ways: by having conversation and by giving money, so that we can have these conversations and get the word out. Make sure that we can fight these voter suppression laws and so forth. For any fundraising call, you have to have a level of humility and respect for the person you're talking to. That's someone who's given, and I'd say this, I know that you care. First off, we spent 5 minutes talking about it, and you've given your hard-earned money in the past. That's not a question. And here's a trick I would say. If you tell me you can't give a dime today, I believe you. But, as a party, basically, we don't get by on Koch brother money. It's middle-class Americans, or the average American, just giving what they can, when they can. And look, help me fight this with you. It takes money. What would you feel good about? And then I'm not trying to trick them to give more. I honestly say, look, I want you to give something you feel good about. Don't do it for my sake. Do it for your sake. This is an investment in your country. And I don't care what side of the political fence you're on. I think you ought to see it that way. So yeah, there's lots of other tips and tricks, but I think, having humility, being a real person, not, hey, what's up? Give me a sec, recording a quick video. How's it going, man? Doug, nice to meet you, man. Cheers. Humility, having a real conversation. Be yourself. You don't have to cuss right on the phone, but you got to get real with people, and recognize the goal of that call, whether it's political or any other. It's not to get money. If that is your aim and focus of the call, then you will shoot yourself in the foot. You won't be effective. You're going to burn through. You're going to burn the good faith of people who do stand with you in their heart. They're on your side. You've got to maintain that loving relationship. Sorry, that's your bread and butter. Your donors are the foundation. They are not the side. That's how it happens. You've got to respect them and treat them right, and listen to them, and then to say, look, we don't expect you to give every time you hear from us. I know you get lots of requests. That doesn't happen, but we have to stay in touch. And when you can, when you're able to do it, you feel good. If they like you, they do care about it. You've treated them with respect and integrity, and shown that you're a fighter. That I am someone who cares. No hard feelings. If you can't do it now, that's cool. But if it's in a month from now, 2 months, whatever it is you can do, we could certainly use it. That's fair to say. And then stroke them. You're awesome. Thank you for your time and support and putting up with me. Something like that. And I'm sharing this because this is not how I was trained, really. Actually, there was one trainer who gave me that tip on a political call. Do it like a survey and put the ball in their court. We want to hear from you. What are those issues? They start getting emotionally invested. These are issues I care about. This pisses me off. And yes, thank you. in order to address those issues, we need to pick up seats. We need this guy in office, someone who's going to fight for us. We need democratic control. It's not going to be easy, but it's worth a fight. It's that fighting, spirit. Don't want to take food off your table. That's a great phrase. I want you to be able to pay your bills and all that, but certainly they've got something. Everybody can come up for $5-10 at any given moment, pretty much, unless you're in a tent out here. When we're not calling you. But recognize too that with the humanity, they get lots of calls from that organization, from that political party, and from lots of other stuff they care about. And that's partially a factor of the people at the top who run. They're just dumb. They don't get it. It's more calls, more bombardment with mail, and just the world we live in. The person who's running the show is probably the dumbest person in the room. Look at our president right now. You think you get the gist of what I'm saying. Yeah, I guess that's it. I'll wrap it up with that. I hope that helps you, if that's what you want to do. I had a great time fundraising. I wish I could have gone back to that firm, but they moved and too far away, and now I have bigger ambitions. So just trying to share some tips with you. Wherever you are, keep up the struggle. Go. You're safe. You're loved. Everything's fine. Bye.